Starting off strong at number 10, we have Enshrouded, a voxel-based survival game that combines crafting with action RPG elements in a stunning shrouded world. You play as a flameborn, fighting to reclaim a corrupted land where a deadly mist called the Shroud has consumed everything. The game features deep base-building mechanics with complete freedom to shape terrain and construct elaborate structures anywhere you choose. Combat feels satisfying, with dodge rolls, parries, and magic abilities that make encounters engaging rather than tedious. What sets Enshrouded apart is its grappling hook system that adds verticality to exploration, making traversal feel dynamic and rewarding. The skill tree offers meaningful progression choices, and crafting is extensive without being overwhelming. Co-op support for up to 16 players transforms the experience into something truly special as you build thriving settlements together and tackle challenging bosses.
Moving to number 9, we find Palworld, the creature-collecting survival game that took the gaming world by storm with its unique blend of monster catching and base automation. You explore a vast open world filled with pals, which are creatures you can capture, befriend, and put to work in various roles, from crafting to combat. The survival mechanics are straightforward but engaging, requiring you to manage hunger, maintain your base, and defend against both wildlife and hostile factions. What makes Palworld stand out is how your pals become integral to every system, with each species offering different work abilities and combat skills. Base building becomes increasingly sophisticated as you assign pals to production lines, creating automated factories. Combat offers multiple approaches, from mounted battles to gunplay, with your pals fighting alongside you. The multiplayer component supports up to 32 players on dedicated servers, creating bustling communities.
At number 8 sits Sons of the Forest, the highly anticipated sequel that builds upon everything that made the original great while adding new layers of depth and horror. You crash land on a mysterious island filled with cannibalistic mutants and must survive by gathering resources, building shelters, and uncovering dark secrets. The AI companion system introduces Kelvin and Virginia, who assist with tasks and combat, making solo play less lonely and more strategic. Seasonal changes affect gameplay, with winter bringing snow that impacts movement and resource availability. Building has been overhauled with a more intuitive system that lets you construct elaborate bases without wrestling with awkward controls. The horror atmosphere is masterfully crafted, with terrifying enemy designs and unsettling discoveries that keep tension high throughout. Cave exploration remains intense, with improved lighting and environmental storytelling that rewards brave adventurers. Number 7 brings us Nightingale, a Victorian-inspired survival crafting game set across interconnected realm cards that create procedurally generated worlds. You play as a realm walker stranded in the Fey realms after a magical catastrophe collapses the portal network. Number 7 brings us Nightingale, a Victorian-inspired survival crafting game set across interconnected realm cards that create procedurally generated worlds. You play as a realm walker stranded in the Fey realms after a magical catastrophe collapses the portal network. The unique realm card system lets you customize each world by combining cards that modify terrain, resources, enemies, and environmental conditions, creating endless variety. Crafting is exceptionally detailed, with period-appropriate tools, weapons, and clothing that actually affect your stats and survival capabilities. Combat blends melee and ranged options, with enchantments adding magical elements to Victorian-era firearms. The building system emphasizes aesthetic customization, letting you create beautiful estates that feel authentically period while remaining functional. Co-op integration allows friends to visit your realms and assist with gathering materials or tackling harder content designed for groups. Halfway through at number 6, we have Valheim, the Norse mythology survival game that captured millions of players with its perfect balance of challenge and accessibility. You awaken in the 10th realm as a slain Viking, tasked by Odin to defeat ancient enemies and bring order to Valheim. The progression system is brilliantly paced, with each new biome introducing distinct challenges, resources, and boss fights that gate advancement naturally. Building mechanics are intuitive yet deep, with structural integrity and comfort systems that reward thoughtful construction. Combat feels weighty and deliberate, requiring proper preparation and understanding of enemy patterns rather than button mashing.
The sailing system transforms ocean traversal into genuine adventure, with dynamic weather affecting your voyages. What makes Valheim special is how it respects your time, with fair death penalties and the satisfying loop of exploration, combat, and base improvement that keeps you engaged for hundreds of hours. Coming in at number 5 is The Forest, the original survival horror that established the cannibal survival genre with its terrifying atmosphere and emergent storytelling. You survive a plane crash on a peninsula inhabited by cannibalistic mutants while searching for your missing son. The day-night cycle creates distinct gameplay rhythms, with relatively safe daytime exploration giving way to terrifying nighttime defense. Building is free-form and creative, letting you construct anything from simple shelters to multi-story fortresses, complete with traps and defensive structures. The AI enemy behavior is impressively dynamic, with cannibals observing you from distance, retreating when outmatched, and adapting their tactics based on your actions. Cave systems hide crucial story elements and valuable resources, but exploring them is genuinely frightening, with limited visibility and lurking horrors. The story unfolds organically through environmental clues and optional exploration, rewarding curious players with answers while maintaining replay value. At number 4, we find Grounded, Obsidian's charming yet challenging survival game that shrinks you to ant size in a suburban backyard transformed into a dangerous wilderness. You play as one of 4 teenagers mysteriously reduced in scale and must survive against insects that now tower over you like massive predators. The creative premise translates into fantastic gameplay, with grass blades becoming crimeable structures and common bugs presenting genuine threats. Crafting armor and weapons from insect parts feels rewarding as you progress from basic gear to advanced equipment that lets you tackle tougher regions. Base building works on multiple scales, from simple lean-tos to elaborate multi-floor structures built in trees or underground. The story missions provide clear direction, while optional exploration and side objectives offer freedom to approach the game at your own pace. 4-player co-op makes the experience even better, with combat and building benefiting from teamwork and coordination. Number 3 showcases Green Hell, an unforgiving survival simulator set in the Amazon rainforest that prioritizes realism and consequence over accessibility. You play as an anthropologist stranded in the jungle, searching for your missing wife, while battling against nature itself. The sanity system adds psychological horror, as isolation, injury, and malnutrition affect your mental state, causing hallucinations. Crafting requires actual knowledge, with the game teaching you real survival techniques, from building shelters to treating wounds and identifying edible plants. Combat is brutal and best avoided, with even minor injuries potentially leading to infection or parasites if left untreated. The story mode provides compelling narrative motivation, while survival mode offers pure, hardcore experience for masochists. Attention to detail is exceptional, with accurate plant identification, realistic injury treatment, and environmental hazards that demand constant vigilance. Despite its difficulty, the game never feels unfair, as death always results from your mistakes, rather than cheap mechanics. Rolling into number 2, we have Rust, the multiplayer survival phenomenon that defines hardcore PvP survival gaming, with its brutal player interactions and intense progression. You wake naked on a beach with nothing but a rock and must gather resources, craft tools, and build bases while other players do everything possible to stop you. The complete lack of safe zones creates constant tension, as any encounter could turn violent without warning. Base raiding is central to the experience, with groups organizing elaborate attacks using explosives to breach defenses and claim loot. The tech tree progression from primitive bows to assault rifles keeps servers fresh, as everyone starts equal each wipe. Community dynamics create emergent stories, with alliances forming and betrayals happening regularly. Monument puzzles and NPC encounters add PvE objectives that create conflict hotspots. Rust demands thick skin and significant time investment, but delivers unmatched adrenaline and satisfaction when you succeed against the odds. Finally, at number 1 sits ARK Survival Ascended, the complete reimagining of ARK built in Unreal Engine 5, bringing stunning visuals and modernized gameplay to the dinosaur taming formula. You awaken on a mysterious island filled with prehistoric and fantasy creatures that you can tame, breed, and ride into battle. The taming system remains engaging, with different creatures requiring unique approaches, from passive feeding to knockout methods. Building evolved significantly, with improved structure snapping and more aesthetic options, letting you create impressive bases. The creature AI received substantial upgrades, making dinosaurs behave more naturally and combat feel more dynamic. Cross-platform play unites the community, with dedicated servers supporting massive tribes working together. Boss fights provide endgame challenges that require coordination and preparation, rewarding successful groups with powerful items. The modding support ensures endless content, with community creators adding new creatures, maps, and gameplay systems constantly.